Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Indy Power Rankings for the week of July 22nd, 2013. This is our third edition, and I'm Travis.
I'm Vic.
And we're just going to get right into it. As you guys know, we rank the 10 best independent wrestlers week to week basis based on win loss records, strength of competition, reputation, and that's basically it. Criteria is all involved. Then we vote, and here's our top 10 for the week of July 22nd. And we'll get into some more after the list goes down. So we'll just count it down from number 10. Number 10 this week, returning to the Indy Power Rankings after having just a horrible weekend last week. Horrible week. He went 0-3 after having won something like 9 of 10. Ricochet returns to the Indy Power Rankings. This was one that we had debated about. It was big that he won the Dragon Gate Open, the Twin Gate tag titles with Naruki Doi, and they beat Akira Tozawa and BB Hulk for those titles. But then we did a little more digging, and his recent success is still top notch. He's actually won 11 of 15, and his recent win percentage is 73.33%, which is like astronomical for a guy Jin working in Japan. So there you go, Ricochet number 10, back in it again. A guy that, like I said, just a couple weeks ago was number one. So, hopefully for him, he can climb back up. He's got a couple shows this weekend to make his mark. Number 9 this week goes to Green Ant, who was ranked a couple weeks ago at number 10, I believe, and he missed a week, so he didn't shoot up much, but he did pick up a victory at Wrestling is Cool on July 21st over Los Ice Creams, who don't seem to win anything ever, but they are entertaining. So, like I said, Green Ant has won 8 of 9 overall and 3 straight. So, like I said, he's looking to move up, and we'll get into how he might move up this weekend. Number 8 this week is a guy who's kind of shuffled in and out of the Indy Power Rankings. He's not real active, but when 2CW runs a couple shows, he 9 times out of 10 jumps into the Indy Power Rankings. Returning to the Indy Power Rankings is the 2CW Heavyweight Champion, the man who beat Kevin Steen for that title a couple months ago. That's Isis Ethics. And first on July 19th, he beat Dalton Castle to successfully defend his title. And then on July 20th, he followed up with a win over Mike Mondo to do the same once again. Then number 7 this week is a guy who's been in and out of the Indy Power Rankings, whether it's in tag team action, whether it's in singles. Cedric Alexander returns at number 7. He has actually won 3 of 4 at this point, with his lone loss coming to Matt Hardy last weekend at something called the Peach Festival in South Carolina. But he did take down Goliath when he defeated Tommaso Ciampa, who was an honorable mention last week at PWX. So he's won 4 out of 5 now, actually. So he's number 7. And now, number 6, this is a first-time tag team to the Indy Power Rankings. First time for either man, in fact. P-Prey, and I've yet to see them as a tag team. I know a lot about their work in singles, but one thing I do know is they struggled in singles over the weekend, but in tag team action, they were absolutely dominant. They successfully defended their AWS tag team titles versus SoCal Crazy and Shea Cabrera on July 20th. And then on July 21st, they followed that up with a new title by defeating Los Bandidos, The Tribe, and the Rock Nest Monsters, Johnny Goodtime and Johnny Yuma, to win the CWF Hollywood tag team titles, which is a pretty reputable promotion out there in Cali. So, like I said, they're number 6, one of the very few tag team units to ever reach the Indy Power Rankings. Then we hit number 5, and number 5 this week is someone who is a former number 1. It's been a while, though. It's been a while since he's been number 1 anyway. Hasn't been as active towards the middle of the year as he was at the start, but things are starting to pick up. The Open the Freedom Gate champion for Dragon Gate USA, Johnny Gargano, is number 5. He defeated JT Dunn over the weekend in a much talked about match at Beyond Wrestling, much talked about show actually at American Rana, and he after this weekend he's got a good shot at coming back to number 1 again, but again, we'll get into that after this rundown. Number 4, Davey Richards. Now, last week the American Wolves were at number 2, and Davey this week was out on his own, as was Eddie. But Davey went into the weekend and actually had a kind of an Indy Dream match on July 20th at IWA Simply the Best 9, and he took down Scotty Vortex, and now he's won 3 out of 4, and looks to show no stopping. So Davey Richards, number 4 this week. Number 3 this week is a guy who 2 weeks ago was number 5, but then went to a time limit draw, and that kind of hurt his chances last week, and he just barely missed the rankings. Well, this week he came back with a vengeance with 4 shows in 4 days. Christian Rose is our number 3, and let me just rattle this off real quick. He went to 3XW on July 18th and picked up a victory over Jeff Maddox. And then on July 19th, he went to Scott County Wrestling and teamed with Danny Daniels and went to a no contest versus Shane Hollister, the AAW heavyweight champion, and Matt Cage. And then on July 20th, he went back to Scott County Wrestling and beat JJ Garrett. And then, to cap off the weekend, he traveled to Funky Monkey Wrestling. And yes, that is the name of the promotion, but it's kind of awesome. July 21st, it was a 4-way entitled the Best of the Midwest. And it's kind of hard to argue with this because it was Shane Hollister, Marcus Crane, Matt Cage, and Christian Rose. And Christian Rose emerged victorious. So it's kind of hard to argue that he is the best of the Midwest at this point. Although somebody might have an argument for that. We'll get into that shortly. Number 2. And I'll be honest with you guys, the number 1 and number 2 were pretty well known at the end of the weekend. But the question was who was 1 and who was 2, and that's where the debate started. But at the end, a little bit of voting, a little bit of arguing. Jonathan Gresham returns to number 2. A little bit more activity would shoot him up, but the quadruple junior heavyweight champion in 0-1 had another successful title defense on July 20th. The guy just doesn't lose at this point. At IWA's Simply the Best 9, he defeated Isaiah. This weekend, he, I believe, has a title defense versus Tony Kazina at Strictly Insane Pro Wrestling, I believe.
Yes, in Carmi, Illinois. And he's also wrestling in Saga, Illinois, which is right outside of St. Louis this weekend as well.
So he's got a great chance at hitting number 1. But for this week, we have our number 1, and it's the number 10 from last week. He shot up, just like Ricochet did a couple weeks ago. Prince Mustafa Ali is our number 1. Kind of an unexpected number 1 for a lot of fans, but we kind of knew he had it in him. Now, this is what he did over the weekend. And this is what actually got him there, probably a big thing. He went to Proving Ground Pro, where he's the franchise champion, and he defended his title versus ROH star Michael Elgin. And, well, he came out victorious. And then he followed that up with a tag team victory at Gali Lucha on July 21st with Matt Nix as his partner versus the Syndicate of John Morales and the 2013 Tercera Queda Trophy winner Mason Conrad. At this point, what we're looking forward to is his match versus Christian Rose on August 3rd at Dreamwave Wrestling's Adversity. And you got the number 1 versus the number 3, and they may not be that at that point. We'll see what happens this weekend. But the point of the matter is, you've got 2 guys that are just on an absolute tear right now, going at it. And that's the end of the top 10. Vic's going to go ahead and go through the honorable mentions, and then we're going to have a little discussion. So if you guys are tuned in for the top 10, then you're feel free to go, and we won't be offended. But we're going to get into a little more discussion of the Indy Power Rankings now. So I'll let Vic go, and then we'll get into some talks.
First of all, we'll go with the guys who are ineligible. First, you got Jay Briscoe, Greg Younger, Adam Thorstow, who I guess is going to be out for a couple months after being number 1.
Got to assume the same with Jay.
Yeah,
Drake was on family vacation, so he had time off.
Yeah, he had to spend a little family time, which is good for him. Bobby Fish, the Young Bucks, Pieces of Hate as a team, Red Dragon as a team, the American Wolves as a team, Brian Cage, and CNC Wrestle Factory as a team.
And before he continues, if somebody on here was active and we didn't know about it, feel free to let us know. You can tweet him at Vic Von Erich, VICVONERICH, me at Phenomenal TLD, PHENOMENALTLD, or at Indy Power Ranking, INDYPOWERRANKIN. But
or you can email us at indypowerrankings@gmail.com.
Right. So I'll let him continue. Sorry for the cutoff.
Well, you get it. All right, so the guys just missing out. First, we'll go with the bulldozer, Matt Tremont, which I know everybody's like, hardcore guy, but I mean, some of them deserve it. I mean, they're wrestlers too. He did go 2-0 this weekend. He won against Devin Moore in IWA Mid South at Simply the Best 9, and he also won in a six-man tag at the Masada Benefit Show.
And for the hardcore criticizers out there are a lot of different styles of wrestling. So, I've always been the type to say, you know what, his style is his style. High flyer is a high flyer. I'm not going to disqualify them because they work a different style. If you're winning, you're winning. This is pro wrestling.
Yes, sir. All right, now we got Zach Gowen. He had a pretty big weekend, the one-legged wonder. He actually did the intro video for us that you'll see soon, hopefully. At IWA Mid-South, Simply the Best 9, he teamed with Jimmy Jacobs to beat Reed Bentley, who is former, number 6, I believe is what he was last week, and Trick Davis. And then the next night he beat Chaz Montana at XICW out of Michigan. Joey Ryan, who just recently got released from TNA, he has defended his WPW heavyweight title.
Brian Kendrick's promotion.
There you go. Yep. Twice over the past 3 weeks. And he also secured the CWF Hollywood TV title as well.
And to be honest with you, the spoilers weren't out when this came to press. If I know for sure he actually won it, I don't know exactly how he got the title. So that's why he ended up being an honorable mention.
I like it.
And that's the issue with not getting. Well, it's not that they wouldn't release spoilers. It's just that nobody has provided them yet. So if
Joey Ryan hit us up.
Yeah, if I had known that he had actually won both, or if we had known, then it'd been possible that he
might have got bumped out.
Yeah, you never know. In Chip Day.
I know. I was just getting people on there. Chip Day, the EVO Super Hex and PWX Innovative TV champion, had another solid weekend as he retained the PWX TV title versus Corey Hollis on 720.
Who, by the way, is half of Alabama Attitude, if you recall seeing them in Cincinnati.
Hey, I did see them.
Yeah, Haynes friends.
What up, Christian? Roderick Strong, he had some success over Noah, went 3-1.
Pretty big. Hey, Roderick, what's up? I'm wearing your shirt again.
Yeah, man, tweet us. Retweet us. Let's see. His only loss, was in the NTV G Cup Junior Heavyweight League. So, I mean,
say that 5 times fast.
I better said it once. Eric Arroyo, he used to be at number 1 in the IPR. I'm sure you all know him. He is the heavyweight champion, CWF Mid-Atlantic. And he won this week when he teamed up with Donnie Dollars to defeat Jason Miller and Nick Richards at CWF Mid-Atlantic. Team CK, Cage and Sean Carr, they're the 2 CW Tag Team Champions. They defeated Irish Airborne this weekend, which is pretty big. I mean, they're the AEW Tag Team Champions, and they're world renowned.
They're defending their titles this weekend coming up at the AEW.
And on 720, they also beat the Electric Dream Machine, Guerrero Loca, and Steve McKenzie to retain the titles again. Eddie Kingston. Some would say he's the Chikara Grand Champion. We really don't know.
Is he?
But I'm assuming he still has the belt, and so therefore we're going to call him the Grand Champion.
Even though it's not true, possession's 9/10 of the law, right?
That's what they say.
Yep, so I looked it up.
So, Quackenbush, if he's not the champion, hit us up. But he defeated Eric Corvus for Wrestling is Cool on 721 to continue his winning ways. But he has been inactive recently, so that's why he's not back in the power rankings. But all you got to do is wrestle a couple of matches, win a couple of matches, and he'll be right back in.
Yeah.
Amasis. I knew that. He's won 6 of 8 matches, and I mean, He won this weekend over Chuck Taylor wrestling his school, but he's really won 6 of 8 matches,
which is pretty impressive.
And he's apparently the Osirian portal has reunited, so they will, I'm sure, be looking for some tag team gold and success.
Yeah, until this weekend.
They break up again?
Well, no, they didn't break up, but at Dragon Gate, they're on opposite sides. It just is what it is.
Come on, Gabe. Come on, Gabe.
Keep up with the wrestling is, Bookie.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. Caleb Conley, I left you out, buddy. But he did just beat the Chiva Kid, Andrew Everett, which is, I mean, a pretty top-notch win. And you add that to the guys he's beat recently, David Richards and Kevin Steen, and he's well on his way to being in the rankings.
Yeah, I mean, he's been working in CZW. He's been working in Evolve, Dragon Gate USA. He's going to be working there this weekend. So, honorable mention last week, and that makes me want to get into what's going on this weekend. But first, let me go ahead and rattle off kind of how things shook out. Last week, Prince Mustafa Ali was number 10. Kind of a good week for him. He ended up at number 1 this week. That's pretty much textbook how you do it right there.
He wrestled about 70% of the week.
And the Elgin win was huge because that's such a reputation there to be.
Michael Elgin is a top guy in the sport right now. There's no denying it.
Yep. And
any victory over him is a victory well received.
And then, part of that is also, when a lot of your competition just kind of tanks. It is easier to move up or they're ineligible or inactive. And speaking of tanking, poor Biff Busick. That guy was on fire lately. I mean, absolutely on fire. Until this past weekend, where he went 0-3, and despite, I'm sure, awesome performances, he just, I don't know what happened with him, but, he's out this week. It's probably going to take him a little time to climb back in, but he's a pretty active wrestler, so chances are we'll see him again. And then number 8, Rain, she was inactive as far as I know. That's the thing about women, huh?
She wasn't on my list.
No, she wasn't. But, I kind of look at it as people who were around for a while. That's what happens when you get right.
Women's wrestling, I mean, it just doesn't happen as often. I mean, other than Shine and Shimmer, you get your...
Yeah, but they don't even run that often.
Yeah, I mean, they do like 6 shows at once or something.
Yeah. And so those are always good nights to get ranked, but then you're disappear for 3 months.
Yeah, and
I mean, every single woman that we've had has only been in once because they never can get any momentum going. I mean, like I said, this whole thing is unbiased. I don't really care if you hate us or you think we're a piece of crap. We're going to rank you based on your win-loss record and who you're beating. It's as simple as that. Speaking of, one guy who doesn't hate us and who's one of the nicest people in the wrestling business, he was off last weekend, which is a shame because we always like to see Drake do well, but again, it's unbiased. Drake was off. Big Vic. Drake was number 7 last weekend. He was ineligible. Hope he had a great time at Disneyland with his family, so he put it out there. I'm not exposing the business. Number 6 was Reed Bentley. This is another guy that, we follow closely. We were at IWA Mid-South covering their show on July 20th, and Reed actually took the pinfall in the tag team match, I believe. It looked like Trick Davis was flailing around while Reed was getting pinned, I believe, after a contra code. I think that's what happened. He probably needed another take. Yeah. But, Trick, you know what we're talking about, buddy. Anyway, so, yeah, Jimmy Jacobs and Zach Gowen knocked Reed right out of there, which is why you get the Zach Gowen honorable mention. Jimmy had a chance of getting an honorable mention, but he lost his title at XICW. Rhino took 2 titles that night. But he didn't get an honorable mention because he probably had 1 show that weekend. So it just wasn't enough. And plus, in Ring of Honor, he's like Mr. Jobber. It is what it is. So he lost to Mike Bennett and Tommaso Ciampa in one weekend. Wow. So remember last weekend, that's what we were talking about.
I can't even pronounce Ciampa's name, so I don't remember.
That's okay. He doesn't like us. Or he does. I'm not sure which. But we like him.
Hit us up, man. So, Tweeters.
Number 5 was Mike Bennett, and he was inactive this weekend. So, I mean,
this is what happens. I mean, you get guys are inactive,
I mean, it's the guys who...
There wasn't a lot of big shows this past weekend.
What used to happen in the Indy Power Rankings, and again, we're editorializing, we're just talking here. So if you want to cut it off and, say you watch the top 10, you're happy with that, that's cool. We've got that on Twitter and Facebook, too, if you want to check it out. But, for those of us who don't feel like reading, this is what we're here for. But... what used to happen is people in OVW who run once a week, at least, people in Rockstar Pro Wrestling who run once a week, at least, would always have a really good chance of being ranked and ranked high. Like two of the last OVW TV champions were ranked number one repeatedly. Rockstar Spud and Randy Royal until Dylan Bostic has taken every bit of prestige away from the title. Nothing against his talent. He's just losing every week. So he's yet to be ranked since he won the title. He got an honorable mention his first week, and then that was the end of the line for him. But yeah, that's what would happen. You know, the Rockstar Pro Wrestling guys. But now what's happened with these OVW and Rockstar Pro guys is they can't get any momentum going. They'll win one week and then not the next. So, and plus, to be honest with you, Rockstar Pro, I love you guys, but I haven't been able to get your results the last couple of weeks. I did get the Irish Airborne result, but then they went and got whipped at 2CW twice straight. Nothing against them again. They're the best in the business. We're just talking win-loss. So anyway, Shane Hollister was number 4, and Shane, he had a tough road to hoe over the weekend. He lost. I knew he lost twice. I know he went to a draw once, and that was enough to jump him right out of there. And that's the thing; it's all about wins and losses. One loss is usually enough to knock you out. You lose 2, and you're definitely done, unless everybody else just in the business is losing. So Shane falls out this week, but he does have a AAW heavyweight title match against I don't know who. I mean, they haven't announced it on Friday, July 26th, or excuse me, Saturday, July 27th. Is that a Saturday? No, Friday, July 27th. There we go. Sorry, AAW, Scars and Stripes. Carlito will be there. Anyway, there you go. Cheap plug. Bobby Fish was number 3. Didn't see him active anywhere. You had already mentioned it. I know there's a lot of Massachusetts promotions, things like that. Not sure where he works. He's probably doing MMA training. Dude's good. He's multi-talented. So the Wolves were number 2, and if ROH isn't running, they ain't together usually.
Yeah.
I mean, even in PWG when they run, the Wolves aren't together anymore. You got the Dojo Brothers or Davey and Kyle. So yeah, not so much. And then Thornstowe, he's out with I believe a sciatic injury. Which sucks, but hopefully he'll be back in August and start tearing things up again. He does have.
He got his number 1 ranking before he went out.
He did, and that, we talked about the Madden curse.
That's what he strives for.
Yeah, he talked about the Madden curse last week, and I kind of scoffed at it, but it's so true. Randy Royal, I haven't seen. He's only had a couple shows.
About Randy Royal? I mean, what'd you do to that man?
Oh, I guess I pumped him up, and then
he was number 1. I mean, did he get number 1 twice?
Twice,
yeah. And then
he lost the TV title.
And now where are you, Randy?
Yeah,
where are they now?
The only match I really know is they lost to Jay Bradley. Now OVW's not real good about their live show reports.
Yeah,
but I mean, he might have wrestled some of those. I know he's a busy guy in the real world, so. But same thing happened to Eric Roy, but he's back on track now.
He got some weird.
Ricochet's still in and out. Johnny Gargano died for a while.
Yeah,
I mean, he was going overseas and just losing to everybody.
I kind of forgot about Gargano.
Yeah. I mean, but every time he's in Dragon Gate, which he is this week at Dragon Gate USA, which he is this weekend, things turn around for him. So, I mean, he's number 5 this week. But okay, so that was the comparison of last week and this week, kind of what happened to everybody. A lot of the guys who were inactive last week have a chance of getting back in this week. They're right there on the cusp, so all they need is a little success and they're back in. That goes for Bennett, Younger, if Thornstowe were active, which we know he's not, Bobby Fish, etc. So. That being said, I'm going to just give you a little Indy Power Rankings important matches this week for people who have been kind of hovering around, have been in, just the people that have the best chance of getting in. Now, that can always change. Sometimes I'll get these random people that just get in. I didn't expect, let's say, Green Ant to get in, but he did. So, I mean, it is what it is. And I did predict Ice's Ethics, though. I didn't think he was going to lose, and he didn't. So, all right, so... Thursday night, promotion that we've just partnered with, actually. Evolution Pro Wrestling in Clarksville, Indiana. It is Clarksville. No, it's in Charlestown, isn't it?
It's in Clarksville.
No, it's in Clarksville. Jammers. Yeah, they've got one. I'm not doing it this
Okay.
August 8th is actually when I make my ring announcing debut for them. Or at least that's the tentative plan for now.
It's in Clarksville.
But, yep, Reed Bentley will be there. So Reed... has a chance to get back on the winning track. I have no idea. Do you know?
Oh, no,
I'll let you check it out while I continue
talking now. I'll look.
Yep. See, the HWA Best Tournament, which I guess is the answer to the Heartland Cup, actually takes place July 26th, which is, what is that? Is that Friday?
July 26th will be Thursday? No, you just said Saturday. No, you just said Friday is 27th.
I don't know. I drink a lot.
Yeah, you just said Friday is 27th.
It must be, maybe, unless Dragon Gate's running a Sunday. That might be. I'm not sure. What's today? 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th.
Thursday's the 25th.
Friday's 26th. So
So
HWA is like the only company that's big that's running on Friday that I know of. Anyway, Whitmer's in that tournament.
They only got 2 matches announced.
And then the next night, in like we talked about earlier, Strictly Insane Pro Wrestling, and I'm going to need you to get on that Gresham match because I don't know the other one. I know Gresham and Cozina in Evansville, but you talked about a match I wasn't aware of.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
Find out the other Gresham match for me.
Yeah.
The Illinois one?
Yeah, okay. The only reason I know is because he told me that if we wanted to go, that he would do a video.
He's probably going to have to wait for a while.
He told me, yeah.
It's a hell of a drive. Anyway, so, and then we've already talked about it once, July 27th, AAW Scars and Stripes. Rhino versus Eddie Kingston. And Eddie, well, I highlighted Eddie Kingston, but at this point, Rhino should probably be highlighted too after the weekend he had last weekend. You know, if he knocks off Kingston, who's to say he's not going to be in?
Are you sure Reed's there?
Not Reed. Gresham.
No, at Evolution.
Well, yes, he's claimed to be. Well, he tweeted me and said he was.
Well, he's not even on the flyer like as also appearing.
Maybe he quit.
Matt Atreya is, but he's in it.
Okay. Well, I've been told he is, so that's all I can leave.
Okay.
I've been told by him he is.
Yeah, you want me
publicly,
to
so.
Gresham?
Yeah.
I don't even know who runs the soccer anymore.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I've been there.
It's random. But USA Pro Wrestling has Cabana and Carino for the USA Pro Championship. There's a lot of other good matches on that show, but not a lot of Indy Power Ranking potential. But here's the match I have highlighted, and everybody's going to scratch their heads at this, and I have it highlighted for a reason. Wrestling is Fun in Easton, PA on July 27th. Amasis versus Green Ant. A lot of you are like, why does that match matter? Not to say that it wouldn't be entertaining, wouldn't be good, wouldn't be fun to watch. Well, the reason why it's highlighted is Amasis was an honorable mention this week. Green Ant was number 9. And the point is, Green Ant won 8 of 9. Amasis has won 6 of 8. Something's got to give here. It's kind of like Christian Rose and Prince Mustafa Ali. Who's the best in wrestling fun? I mean, well, I guess we're going to find out this Saturday. And I can pretty much guarantee you, well, I can't guarantee it with Amasis because he's got another match. But if Green Ant wins, he's back in the Indy Power Rankings, I'm sure. Then we got Dragon Gate USA, which is Saturday. And there's so many insane matches with different Indy Power Rankings people, like the SEMA, AR Fox, and Tomahawk TT versus Ricochet and the Young Bucks match. I mean, you got Ricochet, the Young Bucks, AR Fox. All 4 of them have been number 1 before.
I got Gresham if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
That. Okay, Jonathan Gresham on July 26th, which is this Friday, is wrestling for Fist Combat 2. There is a title tournament that he is in where he wrestles Dash Rando in the first round.
Sounds like a video game character.
It does. And then that guy's with Team Bizarro. I don't know what's going on here. But the 4 winners of the first round matches go into a 4-way final where one champion leads to be the first ever. One champion leaves. Winner of Fist 2 will fight winner of Fist 1, Billy McNeil. Okay, so I really have no idea what happened. But Gresham has possibly 2 matches on Friday.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you now, he sweeps the weekend. He's number champion. 1. Because, honestly, at this point, I don't know that Mustafa Ali's wrestling this weekend. Speaking of, cheap plug for me, wrote an article for PW Ponderings today. It's posted on their site. Go check it out. He's changing perception. So I wrote an article, and that's the title of it, Changing Perception. Prince Mustafa Ali, the number 1 this week. Give a read. It's good stuff. It talks about the first time I saw him in Sellersburg, Indiana. I don't even think you were there that night at IWA Mid-South, Sellersburg. I think it was one of the Scorpio shows. You were out of town or something. Or just getting back in town, didn't make it.
Or it was too hot.
Yeah.
Was that so?
Yeah, but it was
probably too hot.
Yeah. Well, anyway, at the Dragon Gate show, there's still Gargano and Rich Swann, so, you know, Uha Nation's in it, and Caleb Conley. So there's several people with a chance there. Then Top Rope Promotions on July 27th. in Wareham, Mass. Biff Busick's on that show. So doubtful that a win there is going to get him in, but it'll help him get right back on track. Mike Bennett's also on that show, though. And I read somewhere him and Busick are having a cage match. I forgot where, but that we'll get into that at a later date.
So this says that never mind, keep going. No, Dash Rando is with Tracy Smothers on that show.
Nice.
I don't get it. And the Hooligans are in action, so maybe they can get back in.
Former ranked. They went to a no contest over the weekend, by the way, against, I think, Zero Gravity.
And Beyond?
Was it Beyond? It wasn't Beyond. I don't know why he keeps... they're not in Beyond.
Because they wrestle Beyond soon.
Not this weekend, though.
Maybe it's next weekend.
No. Yeah, I don't know.
Same weekend
that would be the September. That'd be well, that's like August.
Yeah, we're almost there.
So, anyway, APW 727, this one's highlighted. Internet title match between Drake Younger and Dylan Drake. It's the Battle of the Drakes.
I don't like it.
So, Drake, if he defends his title, well, he's got a good shot of being back in. And he's also got another match at Pro Wrestling Revolution in Watsonville, California, versus Famous B, who I know, Persian Prince, who I don't know, Willie Mack, who I know, and Ultimo Panda, who I've heard of, but I know nothing about. Sorry.
Oh, man.
ROH kicks off their World Heavyweight Title Tournament on July 27th. So you've got a six-man main event. It's Elgin, Ciampa, and Steen versus Whitmer and the Wolves. And there you go. All Power Rankings people right there.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, like every one of them have been in the Power Rankings.
I kind of want to see that.
Yeah. Well, this show's pretty off the hook. Proving ground match, meaning the if this team beats the champions, they get a shot at the titles. It's Red Dragon versus the Forever Hooligans. Not the Hooligans, the Forever Hooligans. The New Japan Junior Tag Champs. And at least I think so, still. Pretty sure they still are.
It's hard to get
Japanese. They lose a lot, but not in, well, New Japan's not too hard. It's the, like, Big Japans and stuff that are hard.
Big Japan.
Or 0-1. Okay, so first round of the ROH World Title Tournament, two guys. Cole was in there really early in January. He was in the Power Rankings. Dude doesn't wrestle enough. He's wrestling Mark Briscoe, ACH versus Carl Anderson, Jay Lethal, he was in the Power Rankings before, versus Sanjay Dutt. CNC Wrestle Factory will be there. World TV Champion Matt Taven, another one who came real close to getting number one at one point. Yeah, to you. The Young Bucks are in action again at Dragon Gate on July 28th. They'll be taking on Ricochet and Rich Swann, the Inner City Machine Guns. That match, Jesus.
Wow.
That's all I can say.
That is a dream match.